Hey y'all, welcome to the country, where it's just another day in paradise. Let's see what's going on. Hey y'all, welcome to the country. I'm Susan with Susan's Country Living. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making some almond flour banana bread. So I've been doing some low carb dieting this summer, trying to lose some weight. Some of that COVID weight that we put on all that time. So I decided to go ahead and make some almond flour banana bread. And instead of a loaf pan, I'm going to be using these mini bunt pans. I'll probably freeze some. I go back to work next week for teachers in my district. So I'll be able to put some of these in the freezer and have that to take to school as either a breakfast or a snack. So what I did, I just poured a little olive oil in the bottom of these and brushed it. You could use a oil spray. You can use I think it's a 9x5 bunt pan is what it calls for, yes. Or 9x5 loaf pan, not bunt pan. 9x5 loaf pan. They said to line it with parchment paper or to spray the bottom and maybe an inch up the side, because you want the batter to be able to grab onto the side. Even though this is no stick, I just oiled the bottom and that little center part right there. So what I have going already is I used 3 bananas and I mashed them with a potato masher. You can do however you want to mash yours up. And I added 3 eggs in here. There is a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then it called for 1/4 cup of any mild oil, like a coconut oil. I'm using butter, and I've melted that and let it cool, and now I'm going to add it to my wet ingredients. I have my oven set at 350 degrees. So first I'm going to get this part mixed up a little bit before I add my butter, my melted butter, just in case there is a little heat left in there. So I'm going to mix that up. I've got my vinegar going in the background. I'm getting ready to do some canning, making some blueberry lavender jam for the farmer's market next weekend. So you just mix the bananas, the eggs, and 1/4 cup of xylitol sweetener, any kind of sweetener you want to add. I've already added that in. That was one thing I forgot. So 1/4 cup of any sweetener. This is erythritol that I'm using. You could use monk fruit, any of your substitute sugars. You could do honey, agave, but I want mine to be sugar-free. There will be some sugar because of the bananas. So I'm going to taste this to make sure I added that sweetener. I think I did. Yes, I did. That's a sweetness. It tastes really good. And then I have 3 cups of almond flour that I've measured out. And it said after you combine all of these wet ingredients and some of the dry ingredients, the only thing you have left is that almond flour. It said to gently fold in that almond flour. So I'm going to use a spatula. It just said to mix gently with the spatula. So I'm going to add that almond flour in there into my bowl. And I like to use these spouted Tupperware bowls because if I'm going to be pouring into muffin tins or this little bunt pan, it makes it really easy. So I'm just going to kind of gently just fold in the almond flour. I like using almond flour. I've had great success with it. I make pie crusts with it, cookies, other kinds of muffins. You just want to kind of get it to where the almond flour is incorporated in. So You could add nuts to this, chopped pecans, chopped walnuts. I've seen people add sugar-free chocolate chips. I'm just doing this without any nuts in it. That's incorporated in. I'm going to fill them about 2/3 full. And if I have leftover batter, I've got some little loaf pans. I may just use those, but I've got it on 350. And if you're doing it in a 9x5 loaf pan, it said to bake it for about 50 minutes until the toothpick comes out clean. So we'll see how this does in these little bunt pans. So I'm just going to pour this in. It's kind of thick, which is good. It doesn't come out too fast. It's really good to have a nice stiff spatula. This is a one piece, and it's got a piece of metal that goes from here all the way down. You have a little flexibility up here, but the rest of it's very stiff. Silicone, you can cook on the stove with it. So I really like those. You could grab a spoon and just kind of smooth down. 2/3 full. This one over here is a little short. So let's recap what we have. We had 3 very ripe bananas, smashed up, 3 eggs, 1/4 cup of any sweetener. I'm using this 0 sugar erythritol. They have some that are mixtures. It's not quite, you have to use a little, it's not quite as sweet as sugar. You have to use a little more. So 1/4 cup of any kind of artificial or anything that's not sugar. 1/4 cup of a mild oil or melted butter, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then 3 cups of almond flour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in over here in the oven, and I'm going to look at them in about 20 to 25 minutes. And we'll check them, we'll see what they look like. I'd probably do the same for muffins, the big jumbo muffins. If I was doing the little muffins, I'd check them about 15 minutes. So we'll see how they do. So I checked them at 20 minutes. I put the toothpick in and it came out clean. So we're going to take them out. Show you what they look like. So filling them about 2/3 full was just right, and they're brown on top. I'm going to let them set here for 10 minutes before I turn them out. Okay, so I dumped my little bunt pan upside down to try to get these to come out after I had let it cool for 10 minutes, and they didn't come out. So I said, well, I'm just going to let them cool in the pan, and I took a spoon and run it down each little curve in the bunt pan to the bottom. I cut one of them in fourths and took it out and ate some. So this is what the texture looks like. It's very moist. I probably would have added a little more sweetener. I like mine a little sweeter, but you know, put a little butter on it and cream cheese on it. That's delicious with cream cheese on it. So the cream cheese brings out the sweetness of the bananas and the sweetener that you added. So this is what my pan looks like. You can see there's some stickage there, but they did come out whole, and this is what they look like right here. So I would call this a successful recipe. I like the taste. I like the texture. Almond flour does seem to stick a little more, so I have seen recipes where they said let things cool in the pan or use parchment paper to pull it out. So yeah, I'll next time I will spray the entire bunt pan, so and down in those little grooves and everything. I think I'll add some pecans next time. But I like that, so I think that was a successful recipe. So make you some healthy banana nut bread if you're doing keto or doing a low carb. I will post the recipe down below and the website that I got this recipe from. Hope y'all have a great day. It's hot here today. Stay cool. Don't get overheated. Y'all have a great day, y'all. Bye.